Having said that, the healers usually have a sentiment of, ooh, I like healing this tank a lot, and I don't want to play with this other type of tank, and I mean class-wise, because they take too much damage and I don't like healing them. For example, for me, this season, for example, bears were taking some enormous amounts of damage, and I had a lot of trouble healing them. Obviously,
Yeah.
depends on the player as well. While paladins are just sitting there, even if they get into trouble, they can heal themselves and bubble and everything. Is there a similar sentiment when you play a tank? Is there like healers that you prefer to play with and others that you want to avoid because they don't do a good job in your eyes?
Yeah. I mean, I've always found the kind of class synergy aspect of this game extremely interesting. I main Brewmaster as I mentioned earlier, but this tank is really unique because unlike wanting to play with like a Disc Priest or I guess like something that provides a pretty massive DR, we really enjoy playing with first off Resto Druids because it just hots work really well with Stagger. On top of that, something that a lot of players don't know is how preservation works with Brewmaster. The way that something like your reversion and golden hour work, it like double dips on how we take damage and we convert it to stagger. And so your reversion and golden hour, that's all you need. You keep that on us, you time dilate us whenever you feel like it, and we're gonna be vibing the whole key. So preservation is actually a super kind of like sleeper pick. If you're making a comp as a brewmaster, and you need like something like lust, or you just want like you don't have an og and you want that toolkit, playing Prez is like absolutely insane, and it's much more efficient than Resto Druid because Resto Druid has to apply 4 or 5 hots to you to keep you healthy, and they have to maintain that. Now it's fairly free. They maintain that and they can just do kitty weaving or whatever. But preservation, man, oh, that thing is insane. Outside of that, there isn't a ton of really interesting like healer tank synergy that I can think of off the top of my head. Like Blood DK is prefer healers that can provide them a large DR. So Disc Priest, notably, in past seasons, being able to paint up them when they're low on runic power or going into a pull when they get set up, because Blood DK has a tremendous amount to set up when they go into a pull, unlike some other tanks. Same with Vengeance Demon Hunter. They want something similar to Blood DK. They need time to get set up. They need the Fiery Brand to spread. But yeah, outside of that, I think most people are chilling. One sleeper healer that I really actually like playing with on most of my tanks is actually Holy Priest, despite them not being the strongest healer. Uh, their little angel wings that they give you, or guardian. What's it called? Guardian Spirit.
Guardian
That's
Spirit.
not it,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Guardian
200%.
Spirit.
Yeah.
It's such a strong cooldown, especially on like Brewmaster even, because Brewmaster staggers all their damage. So like utilizing that cooldown, they're probably not gonna die when it's on them. They're taking more healing, and it's just like a 1 minute thing you could just throw
1
on them.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, as long as it doesn't proc. Playing with
Yep.
me though, it's gonna proc. It's gonna proc a lot. But yeah, that would those are kind of like off the top. I like playing bear. I think like they I used to main bear back in the day. They preferred like holy paladins. I don't know if that's changed. But generally, you want a healer that can kind of fill in the gaps or what you struggle with as a tank player. So if you're a tank who needs a little bit more time setting up a pull, you want something that can provide you a DR or some quick burst healing at the start of the pull. Things like Brewmaster's really niche because of how Stagger works, but you want healers that can either provide a lot of hots or very effective hots to you. So even Shaman's pretty good. Earthshield and Riptide alone can keep a Brewmaster pretty healthy, and then your Mastery obviously like super triple dips on their health being low all the time. So your heals are more effective per mana spent. So yeah, those are some of the combinations off the top of my head that I can think of.